two guests. Joining us right now are Renuka Kirpalani, who's editor Autocar Show, and we also have with us Mitul Shah, Vice President Research Automobiles at Reliance Securities. Thanks very much, both of you, for joining in. Renuka, thanks very much for stopping by in our studios. Good morning. Good morning. Are things slowing down?
Definitely. I think a lot of pressures on the market, fluctuating exchange rates, rising fuel, which has softened a bit recently. But you know, insurance as well went up, and it was bank smacked just before the festive season. So liquidity crunch, I think all the pressures just came around the same time for the automotive market. Unfortunately, it was in the festive season where everyone normally sees a rise, but it's the first time we've seen a decline during festive season. And I think, yeah, there is a lot of pressure on the automotive industry. And from the few results we've seen in November so far, it seems like it's still staying flat.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. Mitul, morning. You know, Renuka rightly highlighted the reasons why you're seeing this decline in trend, and unfortunately, as it may have, even the festive season hasn't been able to really refuel this demand when it comes to Motan. But let's pick up, you know, the two-wheeler segment first. And again, very divergent trends here. While RE's taken a knock of 10%, Hero MotoCorp has not done all that badly, and Bajaj Auto has also been in line. Why do you believe that RE is seeing a decline in trend?
Yeah, hi, good morning. Basically, in two-wheeler, different factors affected the different company. For example, Hero MotoCorp is completely into the motorcycle segment, wherein it has a higher presence in the entry-level segment, which is getting impacted by aggressive pricing of the Bajaj Auto on the entry-level bikes. On the other hand, RE has two other factors. One is the demand is not picking up for the high-end bikes, like specialty bikes, but company has had strike during the month, so that has also impacted the production to some extent during month. So it is marginally lower than what it was expected. But on the other side, Bajaj Auto is doing phenomenally well. It is gaining the market share across the segments, particularly in the entry level segment with the aggressive pricing on the bikes, as well as on the higher end also. These marketing strategies of the companies are playing out well.
Let's drill it down to specifics, Renuka. Between all the companies that we constantly talk about, Maruti, of course, being the market leader, Tata Motors, which is continuing to struggle with its domestic business. How are you sizing up, how each one of these majors are tackling the issue of the slowdown?
Well, I think these are market forces. All they can do is put out good new products as value offerings and just hope that the customer now has enough liquidity to bounce back and actually buy what is considered still a luxury product in India. It's not everybody's priority choice is not a vehicle when you count the pecking order, and I think that's what we've seen this festive season. People have chosen to stay away from what they consider a luxury product in their choice of buying. I think Tata Motors is now banking a lot on a new product, Harrier, which we will see early next year. Mahindra's got a new, compact SUV coming up. So they've got a lot of new products in the pipeline. They hope that will, sort of rejuvenate the market, excite the customer. People then will go out to buy. So new products, I think, will help these companies bounce back. I think, already we've seen Maruti do a little bit better with the new Ertiga. Hyundai had the new Santro. So that's created a lot of interest for these companies. We've seen them, their numbers pick up based on the newer products. So I think it will slowly bounce back.
But isn't that the problem with Tata Motors? Because in our previous conversation with Hormaz as well, he's saying that Tata Motors doesn't have the visibility beyond 2 years when it comes to product pipeline. Do you think that's a big challenge?
Yes, definitely. In the long run, I think, in the Indian scenario, to stay in the consumer's mind, you have to be current, you have to be launching a lot of products. And I think they need, in India, the philosophy is jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai. It really is like that.
Maruti's A-state.
Exactly. And that's why you see Maruti still having, the masses of the share of the market. And I think you definitely have to stay visible. You definitely have to have new products. You definitely have to be very current, and you have to have a consistent plan for it. Yes, it's not easy in the Indian scenario with so many fluctuations, so many changes. but that's what you have to do, is to stay on top.
So beyond Harrier, do they have visibility? And tell us more about Harrier, considering it's getting launched today. What segment is it? What could be the price range? And could it be that one game changer that Tata Motors has been struggling with when it comes to the domestic
Well, definitely
market?
Expectations are riding high. You've seen Tata Motors also following a very different launch philosophy this time, putting out a lot of teaser advertisements on the Harrier, you know, making the consumers aware about what it is. It's their first product that they built jointly with JLR. It's off one of their platforms. So yes, there are a lot of expectations from the Harrier. It is an excellent product, you know, by all the teasers that we've seen so far and the information that we have. It's expected to be priced between 16 and 21 lakh, which is pretty reasonable. So you know, I think SUVs are the flavor of the season, and I think yes, they do have a strong product over there, and I think that will help them bounce back. A lot of people looking forward to this one.
Do you think that SUV market, the enthusiasm and the competition building there is a bit overdone, or is there ample scope, because that's how the demand scenario is shifting?
That is how the demand scenario is shifting. I mean, every year when we judge you know, car of the year, we see more and more SUVs in the fray as opposed to cars and sedans, and that just tells us where everybody wants to be. So I think yes, SUVs are definitely the flavor, and they will remain in India for a while.
Okay, Mithil, let's talk stocks then specifically. Where would you place your biggest bets? I mean, what would be your pecking order across categories? I know we touched upon two-wheelers in specific, but if I were to ask you to, you know, including commercial vehicles, by the way, we haven't touched upon that aspect of the market too. What would be your top bet in commercial vehicles, in four-wheelers and two-wheelers?
See, in terms of segment-wise, we will still remain cautious on the commercial vehicles due to number of factors, particularly NBFC-related issues. But relatively, we will remain positive on the passenger vehicle side. As rightly said, that passenger vehicles main important factor is the new launches at right price. And that is where the Maruti is the leader and mastered. In fact, we can say that Maruti has mastered the art of gaining the customer in terms of providing full range of products at right price. Every price point there is a product. So in pecking order, we remain positive on the Maruti. And on the other side, the one segment which would like to highlight, that is the tractors. So tractors reported very strong numbers. Escorts growth was 56% YOY. So we'll remain positive on the Escorts also. In case of Maruti, numbers are not very great, but we'll to look at another factors like new Santro launch happened. So initial booking for any new product remains high, so that has some impact during near term. But going forward, new WagonR is going to be launched during the month of January, February probably. So we believe that right now it is a kind of a phase out period for the old WagonR. There would be lower dispatches to the dealers for the WagonR. That has also some impact on the Maruti's monthly volume. So those volumes will get improved significantly February, March onwards.
Right. Mithil, just what would you completely avoid in this market? I mean, I'm sure you're asked this question several times. Maruti is coming at heady valuations, so is Eicher Motors. Is it time to book profits, or can you look at an incremental purchase even at these levels when the visibility on sales growth is not as clear as it has been in the past?
See, at this juncture, still would prefer buying on the Maruti Suzuki from the long-term perspective. We remain positive on the company's strategy of the product launch as well as market penetration for next 2 to 5 years point of view. Though near term there could be some issues. On the other side, Eichers we do not have coverage, but in terms of the commercial vehicles, we believe that one should be cautious on the commercial vehicle space for near term.
If you had to stick your neck out and, you know, predict for the next 6 months, would you say that Maruti would be in pole position when it comes to passenger vehicles, or do you see it getting stiff competition from somewhere?
Well, I think they really know how to, you know, like he said, launch the right product at the right price and at the right time, and I think they've just done that with the Ertiga as well. It's quite an exceptional product. As we've seen, they've heard the market, they've made the changes. So that's what Maruti does. They keep reinventing themselves, and I think that just helps them stay on top. So yeah, I definitely see Maruti still managing to keep their market share and do as they've been doing, because they managed to hear the voice of the Indian consumer pretty well.
And consistently for the many decades. Renika, thanks so much for taking the time out and joining in. Mithil, thank you as well for sharing with us your views.